What's up, guys? Today we're going to talk about being a bit of a sociopath when it comes to dating women, and especially if you're a beginner, pushing your comfort zone and doing things that you would normally find to be a little bit weird, a little bit sociopathic. These things which are absolutely required to get results in your dating life. Now, this is especially true if you're the type of guy who is going on a bunch of dates, but women, A, don't want to sleep with you, or B, don't want to see you again. And this can happen a lot if girls either they don't see you as a long-term option, so they don't want to see you again. And I've had this happen to clients where, their culture is just kind of like too different from the women they're dating. And so if she doesn't want to see you again, but you're also not presenting enough of fuck-worthy attributes, she doesn't want to fuck you either. So then you're just screwed on both accounts, right? So the solution to this is to become more of a fuck-worthy guy, right? And this is especially difficult if you're more of a beginner, right? Now, if you're more advanced, this is going to be interesting for you as well, because this is going to show you, remind you of things that you should be aware of, and might even give you new angles and ways of looking and seeing things. So what you need to do is you need to get very comfortable with feeling like a bit of a sociopath, right? And I'll take this with the energy that it's intended, right? So you want to come at this, and I have full respect for women, full respect for boundaries. But if you're a bit of a nice guy that doesn't have much experience, what you feel is too far, you feel like the things that you're doing are too far, and really, they're not even close to being far enough. Let me say that again because it's important. The things that you feel are too far, going too far with the women, is not even close to what is the bare minimum of what is required to actually get it. Okay? So what that means is, if you ever see, and you should probably just watch some footage of guys that end up sleeping with women, right? It's like, what they're gonna say a lot of the time is like, I'm not gonna sleep with you tonight. I'm not ready to kiss you. Or you'll hold their hand and they'll pull away, right? And if you take all of these things at face value, then you're never going to have the balls to continue to be persistent long enough to actually get the results that you need, right? And that persistence is necessary. So let's talk about the mindset, right? Because mindset is always going to be the foundation for why we do anything. So the foundationally here, there is, I'm sure you all are aware of tests that women give men. The biggest test that a woman gives a man is the sex test. So are you fit enough, in a Darwinian sense, to sleep with her? And why this matters is, if you can get to that level of her opening up her body to you, and surrendering herself to you, and being surrendering her body to you, then after that, you're already past that level where she's going to want to see you again. And it makes things so much easier, right? Because she's already you're one of the few guys that she's let into that part of her life, right? So that's why that is super duper important. So that is the main thing, right? So I'm going to say that again, repeating myself a lot here today. But if you are a beginner and you're not able to get results, women don't want to see you again, the most important thing you should focus on is sleeping with her, right? Because once you've done that, you've essentially gotten into her world. She's let you into her body, and she will let you into her mind as well. So that's one. Number two is, what women say and what they mean are very different things. And what they say, now let me rephrase that. What they say changes moment to moment. So when she says, no, I don't want to kiss you, what she really means, you want to add the word now to the end of that sentence. I don't want to kiss you now. When she says, I'm not going to sleep with you tonight, what she really means is, I'm not going to sleep with you tonight, now. Like, my current idea is that I'm not going to sleep with you right now, right? But if she's even saying that, that means she is thinking about sleeping with you, right? So what you need to do, so that covers the sort of mindset aspect of things. And you also need to realize that the way interactions look is it always looks, not always, but it's going to look much of the time like steps forward, one step back. So she needs to feel, and here's the third aspect of female psychology that you need to know. She needs to feel safe with you. She needs to feel like if she says no, you will respect her boundaries and you will back off. And that's what you're showing her when you're able to persist, right? If you persist in a way that's charming, that makes her laugh, that's playful, and that's respectful of when she says no and her boundaries, you're showing that she is safe. You're showing her that she's safe with you, and you're also showing her that you're somebody who is emotionally stable and non-reactive, right? So your state is not influenced by her state. Your state is not influenced by the fact that she is temporarily putting a stop to things, right? So that's the third aspect of the mindset. Okay, so how do we actually technically attack this problem, right? So what you want to do is you want to learn how to persist, and you want to learn how to escalate. Now, if you're really lucky and she's just a girl that's like go, 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 you can just escalate in whatever manner and things are smooth sailing, right? Now, what's going to happen in 99% of other cases is she's going to give you some resistance because she doesn't want to seem like a slut, okay? Or she wants to make sure that you are a fit man. So let's add those two things to the mindset and female psychology. Number one, there's slut shaming in our society, and she wants to come across as not too easy, right? Otherwise, her value as a woman decreases. That's one. That's not point number 4. Point number 5 is she wants to test your strength as a man, which is kind of what we said, the sex test. It's the sex test, right? She wants to make sure that you are worthy of sleeping with her. So the way that we do this, the way that we escalate, is you need to realize there's many different ways to escalate. And some women respond well to escalation in some ways. Some women respond better to escalation in other ways. So you can escalate verbally, or you can escalate physically, right? And the general principle here with execution is 2 steps forward, 1 step back. So if she ever gives you resistance, what you want to do is you want to take 1 step back. You want to pause for like 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes, and then you want to try again. And when you try again, you want to try again in a way which is different to what you were doing before, right? So let's say, as an example, you try and kiss her, and she puts on the brakes, right? Now, to understand this, you need to understand the traffic light system. So I use a green flag, yellow flag, red flag. Now, you hardly ever get a red flag, which is like, fuck off, go home. Most of the time, she's going to give you a yellow flag, which means not now, pause. If she gives you a green flag, you just move forward, right? So if you're getting a yellow flag, what you want to do is you want to take a step back, and then you want to chill, and then wait for another opportunity 5, 10, 15 minutes later. And when you go for that next opportunity, you should do it in a way which is slightly different to the last time. So if you tried to make out with her last time, you don't want to wait 5 minutes and then try and make out with her again, and then she gives you another yellow flag, and then you wait 5 minutes, try to make out with her again. It just gets weird and repetitive, and then you seem kind of needy, like you need the outcome, you need this kiss. So what you want to do instead is when she gives you that yellow flag, you want to, back off, make a quick joke about it, and then you want to try it another way. Maybe you can put your hand on her knee, or maybe you can, grab her over the shoulder and pull her in. Escalate in different ways physically. Maybe you can ask her, does she like getting ear kisses? And then if she responds positively to that, then you can kiss her ear or her neck rather than trying to go for the mouth, right? Maybe you can grab her ass. All of these different things. Now you'll notice as well, maybe she responds well to the physical stuff, but if she doesn't, maybe she responds well to the verbal stuff, right? So you can ask her, right? Do you like getting your ear kissed? What's the craziest place that you ever had sex? What is, one fantasy that you've never tried? Now, this is all assuming the moment is right for these type of things, right? So you can start to escalate in that way. So 2 steps forward, 1 step back. The other principle, which is probably even more, which should really be principle technique number 1, is baby stepping. So you want to start small, and then you want to work your way up, right? So you don't want to start with, trying to kiss her ear or asking her was the craziest, sex you've ever had, right? You want to start smaller, like, okay, well, if that's going from like 0 to 50, well, what's like going from 0 to 10? Maybe that's asking her about her relationships, right? Oh, what were your previous relationships like? And then, take a step forward from there. You could be like, well, what was the compatibility? Well, let me think of a good question here. What was your first kiss like? That's a pretty good baby step. Was it good? So rather than that being like, hey, let me, lick your tits, 0 to 50, what was your first kiss like? And then you can kind of gauge where she's at. And this is where that yellow green light system comes in. So, if she's already resisting you when you're asking her about her first kiss, then she's not ready. You got to chill a bit. You got to wait. If she's giving you green lights, then you can escalate from there. Okay, so she's talking about her kiss, a first kiss. You can talk about your first kiss, or you can talk about a sexual story that you have, and slowly build things up. So that's principle number 1, baby stepping. Principle number 2 was 2 steps forward, 1 step back. Let me talk about this technique. Number 3 first is you want to call out the meta. Now, call out the situation. Guys are afraid of doing this. They're like, oh, she's sitting so far away from me. Or he's like, oh, I want to kiss her. I don't know how to bring it up. Even I want to sleep with her. I don't know how to bring it up. What you can do, especially if you're a beginner, is you can be a lot more fucking direct than you think. So when a girl is just behaving in a way that is not conducive to me seducing her, I just flat out tell her, right? So let's say she's sitting far away from me. I'm just like, why are you sitting so far away from me? Come sit over here. Do I have cooties? And then that might not get her to sit next to you, but it starts to seed that idea, right? And she might come sit next to you, she might not. But the whole point is you're starting to open up the avenue of conversation, and you're making it very clear what you want. You're making it very clear this is a man-to-woman conversation, and this is how you're seeing things. It's like you're envisioning a world where she's sitting next to you, and she's not ready for that now. Absolutely fine. Take a step back, try again later. So let's talk about one more really cool technique that you can use when you're trying to seduce women, right? And I want to talk about pushes, because a lot of guys, they're just pulling all the time. So let's say you're in a situation where a girl's sitting next to you in your couch at home, but she's just leaving a lot of space, right? What you can do is, let's say you've called out the situation, like I've talked about in other videos. You're like, hey, why are you sitting so far away from me, right? And let's say that she continues to sit far away from you. Let's say she even moves closer. What I love to do is I love to push her away, right? So I'm just like, actually, it's better if you sit further away from me. In fact, go sit on the other side of the room. We can talk via phone. Girls have cooties, maybe you have COVID, whatever, get the fuck away, right? And I even do this. Let's say girls lying in my bed, and just to prevent it from seeming like I'm chasing her so much and that I need her so much, I push her away, right? Like she'll be in my bed and I'll literally push her. I'll push her off the bed. I'm just like, no girl zone, boy zone only allowed. That sounds kind of gay, but maybe I'll even make that fucking joke. But all of this just makes her feel so much safer, because it shows her that I'm not in desperate need of her. I'm not in desperate need of her getting close to me, right? So that's a really, really good technique that you can use. And all of that together, man, that is going to show you how to escalate correctly